Here at Pure, we're global investors, and we believe in international markets as well as the U.S. And over the last several years, it hasn't necessarily been the best place to be. Now, last year, 2020, emerging market stocks did great, so it was a really good investment. But broadly speaking, emerging market stocks haven't kept pace over the last decade. And international developed countries like Japan, Australia, Canada, Europe haven't done nearly as well as the U.S. There's probably a lot of reasons for that, but one that I would point out is that if you look at the companies that have really dominated markets in the last handful of years, they're very large technology companies and technology in general. And when you look at the weighting of technology in the United States versus international markets, there's a lot more tech companies in the US indexes than abroad. I think that probably has something to do with it. So if we see sector rotation where tech takes a pause, we've been seeing that lately with fears of higher interest rates where people worry about the impact of that on technology companies, and so they're selling some of them and some other sectors are outperforming. I think all else being equal, that would help the international markets. And I do think at some point international markets will beat the US. It's history, right? If we looked at a long-term chart, you would see that there's long cycles where the U.S. outperforms, then international. So in the 90s, the U.S. outperformed. In the 2000, international did much better. In the 2010s, the U.S. has done better. So we'll see. But I think it's important to remember that A, you're diversifying, but B, there are great companies abroad that you don't get exposure to if you're invested in the United States only, right? I mean, companies like Alibaba or Tencent or Samsung or Nestle or Toyota, none of those are based in the U.S. And if you're only investing in the U.S., you're missing out on a lot of great companies, as well as a lot of dynamic economic growth in a lot of regions of the world. And also, if you think about it, COVID's been a global pandemic, obviously, and different countries have had different responses and different case rates. And I'm not a doctor, and I have no idea how it'll develop around the globe. But I do know that different countries are going to go in and out of these COVID cycles at different rates. And as we see that, there's going to be winners and losers. And I don't know that there's a guarantee that the U.S. will be the best country coming out of COVID as far as solving the problem relative to other countries.
Are you prepared for retirement? Schedule a free financial assessment with an experienced financial professional right online at purefinancial.com.